All right, friends, today's the day. Got my beautiful rebuilt pump back here, and we're gonna put it on here and see if we can't get this thing to come to life. And we're gonna get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, a guy who should have probably brought a flashlight with him. For you more than me, because it's hard to see here in the dark. But this little 550 has just been fighting us at every turn, and the final thing has been it deciding to start leaking. Or not leaking. Its latest thing has been to decide to not run because it did not want to put high pressure fuel through the injection pump. It would pump low pressure fuel through and it would circulate and go back through the return all day long, but no high pressure because the little plungers were stuck in the head. So I just took it to my injection pump guy, and I think he had mercy on me and felt sorry because it was a lot cheaper than normal for what a rebuild would be. But I told him the story about how it had just been rebuilt, and then, you know, it sat here, and then now it doesn't it doesn't anymore. And I told him, whilst you have it, perhaps we could update and do away with the stupid hose up here. So he kept that off. No more hose. We put the check ball fitting in up here. So life should be grand for us now. We got a little bit better setup than what we had before. So I think, without further ado, we should start putting this on here. But I'm thinking that maybe I should get a light so that you can see better of what's happening. So let me go over to the Alice Chalmers that we split in half and go grab my light. And then we will get to working on that. I'm going to replace the umbrella seal, and then we got to use our mirror and take our very careful time to work that back on there so that we don't have to do it again, because I didn't like doing it this time, and I really don't want to do it a third time. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Is our studio lighting better now? When we took this pump off, I was not happy with this umbrella, and it almost makes me think that either this was not replaced last time or it was rolled slightly, because it just was acting weird when it was up out of there. And typically, if you can only replace one, or you destroy one, this is the one you want to replace, because this is the one that holds the fuel back. The other one just keeps engine oil from coming the other direction, but there's really no risk of rolling it. So it's one of those things, you know. Let's see here, come on. Oh. That's kind of stiff though. I think I'll replace it too. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes we don't replace the one that faces the other way because, like I said, there's no risk on that one. But if the guy before you thought the same thing, it may not be. I don't know. This tractor, I really want to get it back to the guy, because this has gone on too long, and we got to get this back there to him and save everybody some hassle. And I don't know. That one probably would have been usable again, but I don't know. I just like to start fresh. Subway, eat fresh. It's coming out of there. Fancy wire. very gently put this in on there. I know I'm blocking you, but I got to. I just can't. I can't do this any way other than the way I'm used to. So I don't want to make a mistake. Now we got to get it to jump for the next groove. Come in. Come in. There we go. That should be good. Feels right. Let's just double check the backside. Yep. That's good. Has to seat in that groove just to be the way that it should. Now this one has to go on backwards. So we got to be a little bit gentle. Get back there. Get back there. That feels right. Let's double check it. Is it in the groove? Looks like. All right. Ooh. What's that I got all over it? Got to make sure it's clean. We don't want any schmutz on it. And now we're going to grease her up like we're painting a barn. I like grease. That way you don't have to worry that it's not going to slide. Because we absolutely don't want that to roll. Because then you got to start all over again, friends. And that just is no fun. Alright, let's take the plug out. We really need to take our cover off to make sure before we put it on there that our it should be timed the way I took it off, but it's just better to always double check. This one is kind of bizarre in the fact that it's like a 45-degree angle. Most generally, when you take these off, they're straight up and down, the shaft is. But on this one, for whatever reason, it decided to be different. Let's make sure. Yes, our line is there. And then this one, he had never seen that either, but remember, this one has that notch in that ring, and I don't really understand what gives with that, but that's kind of strange, ain't it? Oops, I didn't mean to turn that off. Oh, we got more power there too. All right. Now, it is an exercise in patience. We have to very gently, and I should have even brought a pick. Oh man, now the phone's ringing. That ain't good. I can't talk right now, pal. I'm in the middle of something. We'll call him back later. It's Mike Kelson. We'll get him at some point. But right now, we're putting an injection pump on. And this requires a lot of our brain. And we don't have any to spare for anything else. And I might have to change the light angle because it's messing with my mirror. and I gotta have it where I can see what I'm doing. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what angle is exactly better. So far, it's nothing that I've tried so far. I think it's actually gonna go. This one might go the first time. Oh. It's so brilliant, I can't hardly gaze upon it. Oh, I think we got it. But I'm always so worried. I'm always so worried, and I did have it, and then I pulled it back off. Because I don't want to... I don't want to roll that thing. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Well, that's, it's either right or it's not, you know. That's just the way she rolls. Hopefully it's right, because we don't want sadness. Now, we had one of these that was not the greatest. And so we're going to put it where we can get to it. I think it'll still be fine, but... Shoot, we gotta do that. I'm gonna put this in on the back one. That's one thing where the Alice Chalmers is slightly easier. They didn't do a third one. They just got one on top and one on bottom. And that proved to be adequate over time. It was not. It wasn't a problem. Come on. Now, if I just had a longer, spindly finger that I could get behind there all the way, I could really have this working right. There. We'll get it. Friends, we'll get it. The last guy didn't even tighten that back one enough, which is kind of sketch, you know. I need to... Okay. It's time for some tools, friends. We're gonna go, it'll be a combination of this short stubby one and the obstruction wrench. I probably should be doing the one on the back side first. Before I go too much more. Just so I can still get it in and out of there. Let's switch. Let's see if we can even do this. I don't remember. I can't see what I'm doing. That's the part that's awful. You can't see what you're doing. I don't think we accomplished anything on that one. Come on, baby. There. It takes a lot of maneuvering just to get the wrench on and off, because it's So then you gotta slide it out to the edge to get it off of there, drop it down, put it back over there. I've thought about taking an open-end wrench and bending it a different way to do this job too. Sometimes I think having an open-end version of this moon style wrench would be the ticket. But what do I know? Alright, 2 out of 3 I think are good. Saving this one in front for last. Alright, we still are lined up there, so that's lovely. Let's do this. I should go back and watch the video to see what order I took the injection lines off in, so that I knew which order to put them back on in. What I mean is, not that I don't know where they go. What I mean is, I'd like to know how is it the easiest to take them apart. You know, like I probably want to start with the last one I took off when I took them apart. That's what I'm getting at. So that's what we need to do. I'll go scroll back real quick and see if I remember. I've got them all laid out here in order, so I know which one's what. I just don't know which one I took off last. I don't think I took them off in 1, 2, 3, 4 order. I think you know what I'm saying. Alright friends, there ain't no getting out of it. It's time to pull an injection pump. Yes, that was a sad day. We're just sitting there trying to come up with something to... Okay. It looks like I did take off number 4 last. So that's handy. So can I get this? No, I can't. I'm a failure. Come on. That should be the one that goes there. I really should get a wrench to fit these right now, so that I can help myself make this happen. But it looks like I stopped with that one, and then the next one I did was 3, which should be the upper one on that back side of the pump. Again, I need to get the wrench before too much longer here, so I don't get myself into a position of sadness. But do I learn? No. I'll wait till the last minute, and I will create maximum sadness. I need to get this loose on there turning. It's a lot easier if stuff turns loosely by hand than if you have to force it at every turn, like I'm having to do right now. Come on. Oh, I know what I can do. For one, I can hang that down out of my way. Now it's right in my way, but it's in my way, but it's out of my way. You see. Come on. Oh, you. It's going to play stupid games like that, where we just get to have stupid prizes. I mean, it's just one of those, friends. It's one of those. Maybe I need to thread that one on first. I should be able to do them simultaneously. See, I thought in my brain how nice it would be if I just start both of these, then I'd get the wrench, then I'd tighten both of these down, and our life would just be handy. But so far, it's decided that it's going to play a game of make it the most difficult for me possible. Don't cooperate. All right. This one was proving to be the most difficult. And maybe I got it right there at the end. I don't know. One thing's for sure, though, we need to make sure we don't tighten it all the way, because we got to be able to bleed the injectors when we're done. See, with the pump all shiny and cleaned up, you can read that it says that's number 1 right here. We couldn't do that before, I don't believe. I don't think we could see that. But that's nice that they did that for us. That way you never forget 1, 2, 4, 3, you know. Okay, this one should go like this, in a vertical fashion. Why, you ask? Well, because as previously stated, in order for it to run correctly, all these lines have to be the same length. So that's why you end up with all these wacky shapes. It's not just because some guy thought, hey, wacky shapes. It's because every line is exactly the same length, and then it is fit to the space. And it's got to be for the timing's sake. Because if it wasn't the same length, then it would take longer for one to go get fuel to the thing than the other, and it might affect your timing, see. So if you unfurled them, they should all be the same length, is the moral of my story. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. And finally, number 1, which somebody's already had to braze on, but that's okay. That is an acceptable. That's an acceptable thing to have done. What's not acceptable is Ross not remembering what layout they were in. Let's see, it's probably going to be harder to get that one started then. We'll leave that loose. Tighten this one tight. It should all be tucked in there. Uh-oh. Though my rod and my staff, they do not comfort me. Well, maybe they do. Was this above there like this? Or was that in between those injection lines? In which case, no, it couldn't be. It has to be out here, or it would pull back on there. Okay, crisis averted. I thought there for a minute I had a bad problem happening, but that should be fine. It's just that it, the way that it is, kind of puzzling me. I don't remember that rod hitting that injection line, but I guess all things are possible. All right. We're going to wait on this, although we can now take this out. The only reason this is wired back is to hold the weights in there so they don't fall out while you're putting it together. I've seen that happen, and it's sad. I mean, you get almost done, and then, or you get ready to put it on and look down in the hole and you see something's wrong. Alright. Which one do we want to do next? Well, this has all been changed, so we need to make sure that we don't have to clock it slightly differently. This way is not an issue. I can make that work any orientation. The one that's the problem is this one. We need to make sure that this is going to work in the order to which it was. Wow, he got that really good. That's kind of amazing that he could get that to line up that well. Not a lot of room here, friends. Not a lot of room. And that's not the right angle. I can see that right now. Needs to be about like that. But then Ross can't get his fingers in there if he has to hold the line and do it. So use the line wrench, you say. Well, it doesn't just fit in there A1 either, you know. It's possible that this fitting is slightly taller too. Thus creating a fitment issue. I think I got it though. I just gotta keep it working. I think we're getting it. We're struggling! No, not really. We just have to take our time. I think that's gonna be fine. Is this one gonna be fine? Come on, get on there. Get on there, buddy boy. Well, that's not good. But man, I don't want to round you off because that's going to cause us grief. There we go. That's good. This one we got to go flip it over a bunch just to get it to work. Okay. Now, I bet that's gonna knudsen us, and we're gonna end up taking something loose here again. Didn't we have to get our wrench in to tighten that up for keeps? Maybe I can go low down and get it. I might be able to make that happen. Get to that one. I don't remember how I got to this one. Same way, low down approach or something. I mean, basically, we gotta have them loose because it's gonna have air in it. And there ain't no use to fight it. Oh, we were gonna get a different line made to this, and Ross never did it. Well, what does Ross do? Today, he might go ahead and just put it together the way that it was with this hose. But after thinking about everything, I think you are right. I probably want to switch back to a steel line. I don't know why the guy had this hose on here and I followed suit and made a hose, but people are freaking out about the rubber breaking down in this hose. So we might deal with that later. I just want to hear it run again though first, before we get too carried away with all of life's sadness. That's too big a wrench, but okay. Like I said, we'll change it later. We'll make it everything you've ever dreamed of, friends. We'll do that later. Okay, let's get this. Boy, that sucks, doesn't it? That thing sticks way out there. I don't like that either. Yet another reason why switching and making like a brake line style would be better. Is that gonna go? I don't know. I'm having so much fighting over nonsense. Got that. Now we're gonna put the starter back in. And I think I have to have this loose to get that in there. If I remember. I don't remember. I just know that this is a heavy piece of material here. And you have to get that in there. Just so. Oh, come on. Come on. You piece of scrap iron. Let's put a mold in it. I hope I didn't ruin the solenoid too, because what I had to do on this one in order to make her go, I had to take the inner nut off so I had enough stud sticking out that I could get both cables hooked up. And I'm worried that because of that, when I took it loose, I forgot that I had done that, and I hope I didn't mess that up inside. I'm pretty sure it just pulls tight against another contact like. But my luck is not something that works out nicely. My luck is always taking the long way around. So that's what I fear. That's what I fear. Being in, I don't know. Working on this tractor just is kind of breaking my brain. It's been so aggravating. One little thing after another, and it just dragged on and on. See, we would have had this done a lot sooner had the steering box pieces all been correct. But then it turns out that they weren't, and then I had to go around and around and around to get that straightened out, and it just got away from me. And there you go. Then you're several years into it, and that was in there. And then the main battery cable was here. And then of course what I did just now was I decided it'd be a fun thing if I just dropped the nut, you know. Why not drop that down to the ground so you can't get to it. Fatness and all. I'm gonna put that on there. All of this is subject to change because of stuff and things. That one's 5/8, I believe. There we go. That ought to get her. The rest of this nonsense is going to just hang out for now. This could go. I screwed that up, didn't I? Oh, I screwed it up. I should have had that other wire where it wasn't up in my teeth. I think I had it right and then it slipped down on me. Alright, let's try that. We can do this even though I haven't even been using the key. I've just been hot wiring it, like hammering it. And I think that's the other end of this green one that's hanging down here, so there's really no point to it, but makes me feel better anyway to know that I tried. You know, I'll stick a screwdriver between here and get her to go. Then we need to put our throttle pin in. We need to put our idle, so we can do that. I don't remember. Did I put it this way? I'm pretty sure I did. Pretty sure I went pin out. Ooh, we need to get a better cotter pin. Should do that now, but I'm not gonna. I'll bend what's left here over, and we'll change that out next time I come by this way and think about it. But for today's test run, we're not going to get too fired up about it. Okay, so that's idle, and then that's wide open. Nothing is hitting on the throttle linkage. That's good. So everything is back like it was when we started this adventure. Now what we have to do is Ross is going to drain out whatever is left in the tank, because I added some to it, but after seeing how bad our pump was, I don't want any of that stuff in here anymore. So I'm gonna just go ahead and drain out what's in the tank, and we're gonna refill it with brand new clean fuel to do this, because I don't want to have to do it again, and I don't want to put dirty fuel immediately in here. It wasn't really dirty, it was just not beautiful. So how much is in there? I might use the shaker hose and get it out of there. I don't think there's that much in there, to be honest with you. Looks like about that much. Oh man, that could potentially be half a tank. So we're getting that out of there. I'll probably just shaker hose it, get her down as low as I can, and then I'll put a bunch of clean fuel in and some sea foam, and we'll call her good. And then I'll have to go to town to get fuel, because I'm sure I don't have enough here, which is fine. I gotta go to town for something else anyway, but I'll bring you back and we'll start it as soon as I get that fuel. All right, it's lighter. Matter of fact, it's dark outside. And this is what I drained out of that tank. Not quite 5 gallons. And this here is what we're gonna put in to try to run it. That combined with some of Professor Fard Pounder's celebrated diesel fuel bitters. I got 2 flavors here that we're gonna put a little bit in just to help with, so we don't have the same issues we had before. See, I'm hoping to wrap this project up very soon and send it home to the owner, but at the same rate, I also don't want to, in case something else comes up, I don't want it to just sit here untreated. Plus, this tank's pretty nasty in a lot of ways. It's not necessarily like rusty, but there is some nonsense on the bottom of the tank, and I would just assume that something dissolve it instead of it cause an issue. But we're gonna see. I'm sure we'll have failure yet. Don't give up, friends, on the sadness. It's coming still. A smart guy wouldn't put all this in right away, in case he's got to take the fuel tank off again. But I ain't too smart, so I'll probably just pour most of it in. I can manhandle 5 gallons if I got to take the tank out again. That's a doable number. Oh, this nozzle is so slow because I don't have a hole punctured in the other side of the tank, because this was one of those stupid environmentally safe cans. And I never got around to drilling the hole in it to clip that vent in. I think this is only a 10-gallon tank, so this would be half. There we go. Alright, we're going to put a little bit of the celebrated elixir in, even though this really treats like 100 gallons, so we don't need near the whole thing. But a little bit of it should be a good thing. And a lot of it should be even better, right? Probably not, but we don't do things the smart way here. We do things this way. I don't even know what way you want to call it. It's definitely not the right way, but it's the Ross way. Chew on that, little buddy. That ought to make you feel pretty snazzy. You're costing me money every day you're here. Let's leave that off. I should have. Well, actually, I don't have any. What am I trying to say? I don't have any magical starting elixir, I don't think. So, we're going to have to just go old school. Alright, we need to open the bleeder on the filter and then go to pumping. And when you feel the resistance, you want to stop because you can blow the rubber out of that filter. Don't ask me how I know that. I just know things from previous engagements. Come on. Whatever residual fuel was in the system from before, I'm not too worried about. I think it'll be fine. Oh, come on. There, I hear some coming. Here's some coming out the bleeder. All right. I was working on in my brain, wonder why they even went with this setup that has the primer button. And then I got to thinking, well, dum-dum, it's because it does not have a fuel transfer pump. I guess they thought, hey, gravity, that's good enough. And so then they thought, well, we still need a way to prime it up, so they went with that button. So yeah, okay. Now, it would probably be nice of me to put the light on for you. Maybe I need to, let's put you there. What we're gonna do first is we're just gonna crank it so that we can get some fuel out of the thingamabob to get her to the whatcha-me. Because if we don't have that, then we're gonna have struggles. I thought I would do this to save myself issue, but I don't think I can. So we'll put it over here so that it bottoms out against something important and then creates a mass explosion. And I'm surrounded by flammable liquids, so that should be adequate. Our buzzer's still hooked up. We will need our 3/4 inch for tightening. We will need our screwdriver for starting. Give it the juice. Uh-oh. We don't have good ground at all. Why don't we have good ground? Let's see if we reach the ground cable. Oh, that sounds sick. Well, to tell you, friends, but I think it's trying to make me wait till another day. Because, if you don't know what just took place there, my jump pack is pretty well dead. So, what does Ross do? Well, he cries a little bit every night. He cries himself to sleep. I mean, I can't imagine why this isn't working since I don't have an actual battery in this. And you're going to say, well, what happened to the battery that was in it? Well, it went away as a core because it was totally garbage. And the guy said, when he brought it here, he said, you're probably going to need to buy a battery before this is over. And I thought, I'm not doing that. Ooh, why don't you die, mosquito? I thought, I'm not doing that until we're ready to roll for like the last hurrah. Well, that mosquito, I hope it... Okay. Do I have any of the professor's elixir left to help? Maybe a little. Oh, friends, I tried so hard, and I never accomplish anything, you know? Don't that suck? Well, I guess the only thing to do is to go ahead and, well, a guy could go get a battery out of something, because I got batteries all over, but all I'll accomplish is draining a battery, and that would really be an unfortunate to do, wouldn't it? I'm trying to think where the nearest one would be that is of a newer variety that I could rob. And then, of course, there is the situation of me needing to clean this off in order for us to even put a battery in it, because stuff and things, you know, life happens and we're not prepared. All I have is handy is a little battery. I could take a nice battery out of one of those Fiats, but I really hate to do that because that is a lot more of a hassle. I think that I put a battery in that junkyard tractor. So I think I'll go try to swipe it, and I'll take my light with me, and I'll be right back. Alright, friends, my Mickey Mouse setup here is going to work. I have fuel now. I cranked it off camera there whilst I was goofing around. And I got fuel, I think, to every injector. So in theory, if we tighten this up, it should run. And wouldn't that be a glorious day? And then past that, because it always did run excellent, it would be glorious if that power steering worked beautifully and was no longer a problem for this poor little tractor. Okay, come on. We're going. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be a struggle bus. I forgot. And it is all the way down, and it's in such a way where it's not gonna, like, I can do nothing. Oh, brother. There's literally no... There's literally no way a guy can do anything to that. Short of... Man, okay, come on, light. Well, we failed there. I'm trying to get the light where it's actually doing some good, and it's not blinding me in the face, and it's going to stay put. And so far, I'm having trouble making those three things happen. Like right there, it's not really helping me much because I can't see what's happening. It is so far away, though. Like, this is going to take a long time to tighten this up. But I guess that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna make me work for it. A half of a turn at a time. Ooh, if I could get it like this, then I can work through here. I could live with that. That's a little bit better. It's a little bit better. Not a lot, but a little. A lottle. Come on. Come on. Gotta kind of slide into it. It's working. Okay. All right. Let's put the air cleaner cup back on, because it can't hurt us anymore now. I mean, it's gaining us nothing for it to be off now, because we don't have any starting fluid to put in it. And it's not wanting to go, so that's beautiful. There we go. I'm kind of nervous, friends, because right now we have Schrodinger's 550 here. As long as I don't start it, it either runs or doesn't run, but we don't know which until we look in the box. And we're about to find out. So either my steering is fixed or it's not fixed, but we're about to find out. And boy, wouldn't that suck if it pours oil out like it's going out of style. Looky there. It's gonna run. It's cold. Trying to help, but listen to that sweetheart purr. I mean, it runs great. I think my steering box is fixed, but I think the rest of the tractor is crap. It doesn't like that it's sitting in this same hole, but you can see it immediately. I mean, it pulls on the, it's helping, because those cylinders are going farther than the other side, especially. It's loose. Listen to how beautiful that idles. The power steering's working. It's not leaking to my visual knowledge, but we probably need to add a little more fluid now, because it has went down as expected. Boy, it runs sweet. I just can't get over that. I think what I'm gonna do, let's let it sit here and just enjoy life a minute. And then I can listen to that sweet sound. If I can get my leg out of the... All right. I brought along that air inflator. So let's air up the tires. That'll help our situation. Ooh, we need to double check it for leaks and stuff, but it better not leak. What a sweetheart. Doesn't hardly smoke. I mean, maybe a little at high idle, but not too bad. It just runs awesome. That's the thing that he's got going for him here. You know, now the rest of the tractor, I don't know. You'll notice the front axle pivot pin being loose enough that instead of turning the wheel, it wants to move the whole axle. We need to take it out and drive it, which means we need to put the seat back together. See it helping. You can see those cylinders leaking. You can see all that loose. That diesel fuel leak coming from? That pump better not be leaking, or Ross is going to have a total meltdown. That pump's leaking somewhere. God dang it. It better be out of one of those little side lines. The back stub line is leaking. I hope I can get to it somehow. That made a difference. It made it run different. That made a noticeable difference in how it ran, tightening that up. So that's understandable. Let's get this one. What a sweetheart. The air inflator is louder than the tractor when it's at an idle. That's pretty awesome. Come up. Oh yeah. Oh, why are we doing that? Did I overfill it? I might have put some more in here. We're gonna hope it doesn't have some kind of other problem. Please, tractor, have mercy on me. Let me at least get you back together and send you home before you do something else. All right, friends, what have we learned? Well, we've learned that if you buy a tractor sight unseen, like the guy did with this one, you will find more things wrong with it than meets the eye. However, it is a sweetheart. I mean, it runs just the very best. Doesn't hardly smoke. I would say it's been rebuilt because it runs beautiful. The power steering works, however, not so much at a low speed. It doesn't really help you as much, but if you're about maybe half throttle, then it's just like fingertip basically. So that's about as good as can be expected from that style steering, because I don't really consider that's not really power steering, it's power assisted steering. It's a manual steering box where they added on some stuff to help you push. Now, I believe that it probably also has a problem in the fact that the spindles are garbage, I would say, and I would bet that they are hindering it from being its absolute very best. But does Ross tear into that and start down that rabbit hole of sadness? Or does he give it back to the guy and say, there it is, buddy, you can start hammering pieces, and if you need help, you can bring it to me and I'll change the bushing or something. I don't know. Because you see, look how much stuff is moving. Like, that should not be. We've got worn ball sockets. We've got obviously a front pivot pin that ain't no good. I mean, very much travel, bad, sadness, etc. So that's not very good, but I don't know where we go from here. I'm tickled to death that it's running. Where I'm gonna go from here, and the next one is, we're gonna put it all back together. We're gonna put in all the new stuff I got left, wiring, gauges, whatever, make it start from the seat. We got to rebuild the seat because it was totally sadness, and we'll get it where we can run it and drive it from the seat. We'll take it and run it around. We'll decide how much love we have in our heart for it at that point. If we feel like we can squeeze in a few extra processes, then we will continue. You see, I was given this entire box of parts plus some stuff that I ordered on top of that. Like, I'm pretty sure I ordered these. That's nothing though. But I've got bushings left, I've got some seals, I've got some stink bugs, so we'll put those on it somewhere. But I've got all the thrust bearings and spindle bushings, which aren't that bad really in the grand scheme of things to change. But what I'm afraid of is when I go down that rabbit hole of sadness, we're gonna find out that the spindles are garbage, like wore pretty bad. And then we're gonna go down the rabbit hole of, do we just go ahead and buy brand new spindles, which is gonna add up some serious cash on him in a hurry? Do we buy new cylinders, which I think I can get to eliminate some of that sadness, but then we still have pivot pin sadness? How much sadness do we want to endure is the question. I've about had my fill of sadness with this little feller, unfortunately. But I'm not saying that I wouldn't press on, you know. I would just like to get this back in his hands so that he could play with it and enjoy some of what he is ultimately going to spend on this. And then I could move on with my life and not think about it for a while. And then hopefully we'll both be much happy. So I think we're gonna call this one here while it's sitting here running, because that's the most it's done for a long time. And it's running and steering. So the two most important things, easy ho, coming down behind me. The most important things that it was here for, it's got. I mean, it's running, it's steering. Now we're gonna put on the other loose pieces I got, like I said, to make it where it runs and drives from the seat good. And then I'll buy a new battery before it's time to send it on its way, because that's my little battery and I want to keep that. I'll buy him a bigger battery since this is a diesel. I'll buy like what he had. He had like a Group 31 battery in it, so that's what I'll put back in it. But I'm tickled to death that she's running that good again, friends, because I was starting to lose my cool with the little feller. But it always did run good the day that it got here. Despite its other flaws, it runs good. So I think it's worth him, you know, pursuing a little bit on it, making it better, but it would be better if he just uses it. He's got the ag tires for it. He put these on it and he was trying to mow with it, but I think he needs to put the ag tires on it and rake hay with it or something. And, you know, we'll have to fix his PTO. It's broke off, but I got a different one, so I don't know. I think, like I said, let's just leave this one here while it's running, and we'll tackle more in the next one. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.